Let's just stop and think for a second. What if, long before us, life didn't start here, but next door? I mean, what if civilizations rose and fell under a red sun, leaving behind secrets we're only just beginning to uncover? We're going to dive deep into this, because the idea of a lost Martian history, well, it could completely rewrite the story of humanity itself.
You know, this sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. I get it. But a whole lot of evidence is starting to pile up, forcing us to take this question seriously. This isn't just guesswork. It's a real possibility based on actual data being beamed back from the red planet. So, let's explore it. All right, first things first. We've got to get our heads around the two very different versions of Mars, the frozen red desert we see today and the world that science is telling us it used to be.
For the longest time, we all thought of Mars as this totally barren, dead world of rock and dust. But wow, our modern missions have painted a completely different picture of its past. Billions of years ago, Mars wasn't red, it was blue. It was way warmer, it had a thick atmosphere, and it had liquid water flowing all over the place. Basically, it had all the same ingredients for life that early Earth did.
So where's the proof, right? Well, the most incredible discoveries are coming straight from our rovers, which are just tirelessly digging through the Martian surface, sending back clues that have been hidden in that red dust for ages.
We've got these stunning, high-res images that show us valleys literally carved out by ancient rivers. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance, they've found layers of sedimentary rock that could only have formed at the bottom of old lakes. They've discovered minerals like clays and sulfates, which only form when water's around. And this is the big one. They've found complex organic molecules, the actual building blocks of life. This isn't just one lucky find. It's a pattern over and over again.
And this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the change in how scientists are thinking. The question is no longer if Mars could have had life. The question is now whether it actually did. The fact that this is being openly debated now is a huge, huge shift.
And then you have this ongoing mystery with methane. Our orbiters are detecting these sudden, massive spikes of methane gas that just appear out of nowhere and then vanish. Now here on Earth, something like 90% of the methane in our atmosphere comes from living things. So while yeah, some geology can make it, the fact that Mars is still kind of burping methane today is a seriously tantalizing clue that something might be active right below the surface.
But hold on, this story gets even weirder. It looks like Mars didn't just get one shot at hosting life. Its entire history seems to be one of these dramatic cycles, giving life multiple windows of opportunity. Our climate models suggest Mars went through these amazing warm periods, and then plunged into these long, deep freezes as its atmosphere just thinned out. And this cycle might have happened more than once. So life, maybe even a civilization, could have started up, gotten completely wiped out by an ice age, only to get another chance to start all over again millions of years later.
And this whole cyclical thing is so important because it could totally explain why we don't just see a bunch of cities from our orbiters. Each ice age would have acted like a giant planetary eraser. You've got wind and ice just scouring the surface, burying everything, grinding down buildings until you can't tell them apart from the rocks. Anything left would be just the faintest trace.
Okay, so if the surface becomes a total death trap, where does a civilization go? How do you survive that? Well, the answer might have been right under their feet the whole time.
I want you to meet the lava tube. These are these enormous natural tunnels that were left behind by volcanoes billions of years ago. They are, for all intents and purposes, pre-made bunkers. They offer stable temperatures, and most importantly, they shield you from all the deadly radiation that's constantly slamming into the Martian surface.
And the sheer scale of these things is it's mind-boggling. Because Mars has lower gravity, its lava tubes are way, way bigger than anything we have here on Earth. We're talking about hollow spaces so huge they could easily swallow entire cities, skyscrapers and all. It's the perfect place for a civilization to make a last stand.
Now, obviously, this would be an unbelievable challenge. To survive down there, a society would need to become absolute masters of technology. They'd have to engineer things like artificial suns for light, complex ventilation systems for air, and figure out how to grow food in totally sealed environments. Their whole culture would be shaped by living under rock instead of an open sky.
Okay, and this is where we get to the most speculative and honestly, the most profound part of this whole idea. If a Martian civilization was facing its end, is it possible they tried to escape? And could we actually find echoes of that attempt right here On Earth?
Let's look at a few really weird things that kind of fuel this hypothesis. Mars has this unusually high ratio of an isotope called xenon-129, which on Earth is a signature linked to nuclear events. Its moon, Phobos, has a super weird orbit that's led some to wonder if it could be artificial. And of course, there's the whole idea of panspermia, that life itself could have hitched a ride from Mars to Earth on a meteorite.
Now, just for a second, let's play a thought experiment. Let's connect those weird anomalies to our own most ancient stories. It's fascinating. Myths from all over the world share these common themes. Gods coming down from the sky, a great flood that ends a previous world, wise teachers arriving from the stars. I mean, could the Great Flood be a distorted memory of Mars losing its oceans? Could the sky gods have been Martian refugees? It's pure speculation, but you got to admit, it's pretty compelling.
The parallels are they're wild. So you have to ask yourself, are they just coincidences, the product of human imagination running wild? Or could they be the faintest, most fragmented memories of a forgotten journey from a dying world to a new home?
All of this, the science, the speculation, it all leads to one really important question. How do we find out the truth? Well, the good news is we are on the verge of actually being able to answer that.
As we speak, the Perseverance rover is drilling into the Martian surface, collecting these little rock core samples and sealing them up. The Mars Sample Return mission is being planned to go pick up those samples and bring them all the way back to Earth, so we can study them in our best labs. This will be the first time we've ever had pristine Martian rock to study up close. It's a huge deal.
So what are we going to be looking for? Well, we'll be hunting for biosignatures, the chemical proof of past life. We'll analyze those weird isotopic anomalies like that xenon-129. We'll piece together the planet's history, and maybe the most exciting part, we will be looking for any signs of artificiality, anything in the structure or the chemistry of those rocks that nature alone just can't explain.
And that leaves us with this final, really profound thought that kind of reframes this entire mission. When we send our robots and one day our astronauts to Mars, are we explorers visiting a truly alien world for the very first time? Or are we descendants finally making the long journey back home?